What is that? What the f is that?
So Kuro finally decided to make Pincer Maneuver permanent by giving it a brand new name called Whimpering Wastes. As most of you guys may already know, this is an endgame mode that will reset along with the Tower of Adversity every month. So in this video, I'm going to break down this new game mode, share my thoughts on how some stuff can be significantly improved, and finally give you some tips that you can use, especially with the new token system, to help make this endgame mode a little bit less annoying, especially if you don't pull for sequences on your main DPS characters like me. As always, if this video proves helpful or enjoyable in any way, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon because it helps me out tremendously. As you guys can see right here, I've cleared all the challenges with only my Jian and Zhang Liao teams, and I've obtained all the rewards. There are 3 areas that you need to beat. The blue area here is called the Forbidden Waters, the purple area here is the Respawning Waters Chasm, and the red area here is the Respawning Waters Torrent, or the Infinite Torrent. Their names are way too long to pronounce, so I'll be using the colors as a mode of reference throughout this video. The blue area will be the easiest, so you can easily get S rank on all of them, and don't worry, we'll get to the ranking system very shortly. Keep in mind that the blue area does not reset, so just like the overdrive zone in the Tower of Adversity, this area can be cleared only once. The most important thing about this area is that you get to unlock all your tokens, and tokens are basically buffs that you must choose for a specific team to make your runs a bit more easier. You can unlock the last tokens, which will be the most powerful ones at challenge level 8, which you can use at level 9, 10, and 11. And finally, the Infinite Torrent, which is going to be the most difficult. Every ship or challenge in the blue area that you see right here and the other harder areas, which we'll get into very shortly, contains 2 stages. Each stage can be cleared with specific teams of your choosing, but keep in mind that you cannot swap weapons or echoes between your 2 teams. For example, for this challenge right here, I'm running a Jian and Zhang Liao team, but Motefi and Yanlin are on 2 different sets of Moonlit because you cannot swap sets even after finishing one stage, as you guys can see right here. Personally, I would prefer that Kuro gives us a chance to swap sets and weapons when you finish the first stage, which will be much helpful for free-to-play players, but then again, this is considered an endgame mode, so chances of that happening are close to 0. But let's keep our fingers crossed. In every stage, there's a specific buff that is available to you, like this one right here, that gives you 100% Concerto energy at the beginning of the fight, and the second one which gives you 100% Resonance energy at the beginning of the fight as well. The one that gives you 100% Concerto energy actually sucks because at the start of your rotations, you can easily build full Concerto energy, but your liberation will not be ready on your main DPS if they rely on their liberation to do majority of their damage, and it will be insanely difficult as well for some other supports like Shorekeeper with a very high resonance energy cost. How to make your runs a little bit better is to prioritize who you give your intros to fill your Concerto energy and resonance energy at a decent rate. Take this run here as an example. I did an intro from Zhang Liao to Shorekeeper to help Shorekeeper regenerate more resonance energy. But you can see right here that I did not use her skill because doing so will not help her gain Concerto energy since it's full. After that, I gave her outro to Zhang Liao to help him regenerate more resonance energy. After that, I swapped to Yanlin, but I didn't use her skill as well, just like I did with Shorekeeper because her Concerto energy is already full. Then I gave her outro to Zhang Liao for more resonance energy, and then you can proceed with the normal rotation. Until Kuro changes the 100% Concerto energy buff, this is the best way to rotate your team very efficiently without wasting the Concerto energy that comes along with using your character's abilities, and it can save you a significant amount of time in the process. You can also solve this issue with a particular token, but I'll get into that at the token section of this video. Now let's get into the things that can influence your team options and my DPS recommendations for this endgame mode. If you take a look at this part right here, we have the general buffs that applies to all your teams, and this will mostly be the ones that influence your team options. But don't pay that much attention to this general buff because as I already showed you guys, I cleared everything with my Jian and Zhang Liao team regardless of the general buffs that was provided. Since this game mode contains only mob type enemies, you will mostly struggle with DPS characters that do not have a wide area of effect damage capability, but you can also run 2 DPS characters since this mode is mostly focused on damage consistency over a long period of time. A great example is Morment's video right here, which I'll leave in the description if you guys want to check out his run after this video. For clarity's sake, my Jian and Zhang Liao are both at S0, so you don't need sequences to beat this endgame. And those will be the 2 DPS characters that I recommend, since most players will have Zhang Liao because he was given for free if you joined the game early, and Jian is literally the first limited 5-star character that we ever got in the game, so there's a high chance that most players will have access to him. Other DPS characters good for this game mode is Camellia, due to the Blossom mode spin that covers a wide area of effect. As you progress, some stages will have enemy resistances increased for a particular element, as you guys can see right here, so be sure to keep that in mind when choosing your teams. The last thing that might influence your team building is a type of buff that is exclusive to every stage called the Burning Waves buff. How this buff works is that if you clear the wave before the final one in the blue area or the purple area, you will gain a buff called Burning Waves that'll help you clear the last wave much faster. If all the conditions are met, the first stage will fully fill and reset your entire team's resonance liberation. The second stage will give your entire team a 100% critical rate. So when choosing your DPS characters for every stage, try to keep in mind who will benefit most from these buffs. A good example is Zhang Liao in the first stage, so that I can nuke the enemy one more time without rotating my team again, since time will definitely be running out when the last wave appears. Clearing every stage will reward you with points. The clear goal point, as you can see right here, will be automatically given to you even if you don't clear all the waves of enemies in time. If you're able to clear all the waves within the allocated time in the blue area and the purple area, you will be rewarded with the S rank, which will grant you more points for you to claim those astrites. However, for Infinite Torrent, as the name suggests, the waves of enemies is infinite, so it depends on how many of them you can beat within the allocated time. Before we get into the tokens, here is a general tip for every team that you can possibly run in all the areas. Hitting most enemies in all the challenges will drive them further away from you, and positioning yourself in the middle of the enemies will also make them move further away from you, leaving you at the center. So what you need to do is always position yourself at a particular location where you have most of the enemies in your active character's field of view before you start doing damage. You can see here that after Zhang Liao's intro, I moved a little bit to the right side so that I can damage all of them with his Liberation Nuke. The same applies for almost any DPS character that you can think of, so always be mindful of your position and never stay in the middle of the enemies to keep your sanity in check. Now let's dive deeper into the tokens. At the team selection screen here, you can see right here that at the right side, you can equip a token on them which provides various kinds of buffs. The low tier ones have infinite uses, but your focus should not be on them when you reach challenge level 9, because that's where things get way more difficult. Keep in mind that when you finish the challenges in the blue area, you should go and claim your rewards before you reset them, so that you gain access to all the 4-star tokens that you used, which can be very useful in the purple area. In the blue and purple areas, all the 4-star and 5-star tokens can be used twice, which means that if you use the same token for Team 1 and Team 2, you cannot use it again. However, for the red area, all tokens have infinite amount of uses, so be sure to keep that in mind. Here's a complete breakdown for the tokens that will be very useful for most teams that you'll be using in this endgame. The Gospel that receives Harmonized Praise is the go-to token for any team that you can think of, because it provides 40% crit rate and 80% crit damage, so it's very versatile. The most broken among the 4-star options is the Pilgrim Captain's Seal, which reduces your liberation cooldown by 20% every time you use your resonance skill, and it recovers 20% of that character's resonance energy. It's insanely good for characters that rely on their liberation to do majority of their damage. To show you exactly how broken this token is, take a look at this clip right here. Zhang Liao was able to use his Liberation Nuke once again before his Liberation state ended, and since his Liberation Nuke hits pretty hard, it can effectively clear a group of mob enemies that will be left or appears on the field before his liberation state ends. Remember when I said it sucks when you have full concerto energy at the beginning of the fight, but zero resonance energy at some point in the video? Well, This token completely solves that problem because as you use your skills during your first rotation, you can easily get all your teammates' liberation back up very easily, so don't sleep on this token. The Reveler Captain Seal is also very versatile since it grants elemental damage amplification for all resonators in the team. These 3 tokens should be your main priority in terms of versatility, but feel free to experiment with the rest based on your specific team comp. Ideally, you should use a golden token at challenge 11 due to its increased difficulty, and then use the purple color options at 9 and 10 if the other golden tokens does not synergize with the teams that you have available. Keep in mind that for the purple area, you don't need S rank to gain all the rewards. As you guys can see right here, I got S on 11, A on 9 and A on 10, but still managed to get all the rewards, so don't stress yourself too much. But for the red area, you need at least S rank to claim the reward, since you need 4,500 points, so be sure to keep that in mind. That'll be all for this video, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe to help support the channel. If YouTube got it right, you should like this video that pops up on your screen, so be sure to give it a watch and join our Discord community. Link will be in the channel description. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.